Boom, you are live. This morning, this fine, aftermath of a weekend, crazy Friday that we had. I don't know where Junior is. He'll pop in here, I'm pretty sure. I was just so anxious about today's show. Today's show is one of those days that when I do them, when there's this much happening and so much to talk about, whether it be conspiratorial, theoristic angle on what possibly could have, maybe should have, on top of all of that, I've got so much going on in the background that is so positive for everybody in our crew. I want you to understand. Oh, by the way, good morning, everybody. That's how excited I am about today's show. Good morning. I hope everybody's having a great day. And I know many of you, it's beyond morning, or it could be nighttime, evening, who knows. There's so much happening in the background that it's very difficult for me to talk about, because a lot of them I've signed NDAs and I can't disclose what I'm talking, who I'm meeting with, and projects of that sort. And when you run into people like I ran into this Friday, I was at a Silicon Valley event. Oh man, where we're headed, what we're doing, the things we're doing with people, with health, with sickness, with AI, with technology, with not just crypto, but AI and electricity and technology. And all of those things are such boom for me, just brighter and brighter and brighter futures for us all. That when something like Friday comes along for me, I'm not even emotionally affected any longer. Now, I attribute that to many different things, and I'm not saying at all that you should not be. If Friday pissed you off and you're just like, you know what, man, I just want to vent, and I get that. I totally get that. And I'm not going to try and sugarcoat that you don't have the right or the ability or the want or the need to find out to the bottom of what happened that day. Was it manipulated? What's going on over there? What's happening? We'll get into some of that. I will. I have some circumstantial evidence about all of that I think is just like, wait a minute. That's not a normal market does that. But I want everybody to know that this man doesn't spend a lot of time licking his wounds. I don't have time. I don't have the mental storage for it anymore. I'm always 2 and 3 steps of. I'm already into Monday and Tuesday, pretty much by this time on Sunday. As far as I can't wait to meet with these people, I can't wait to talk to these people. I got stuff going on with those folks, and I got projects going forward. Having said all that, I know many of you don't, or your 90% of your net worth or your entire life or your financial life is hodl, and I get that. And I'm that same guy in a lot of ways, right? I have been since 2016. I am Mr. Hodl guy, right? That's pretty much what this show has always promoted. I did a impromptu survey. I know I'm beating around the bush here a lot, but I just want you guys to know that I'm going to tie all those loose ends up. I did a loose little survey with, I think I made 6 or 8 phone calls over the last couple of days. And I said, how was your Friday? How did that affect you? What happened to you? Where are you? I know one person that was a leveraged trader. Didn't go well at all. You can imagine. Like they're pissed at the world. One person said, I'm done with crypto. and I get that. Okay. I mean, it's a hot emotional button on Friday, but I was talking to him yesterday. And you ask yourself, well, what happened to this person and how did they end up? I don't even have grandkids, so it looks like the grandkids have been playing with my glasses. You know what they look like after that. So this person was pretty tore up. And I said, well, how much leverage did you have? And they said, well, I was only 3x leverage. And I get that. And I understand why the previous 3 weeks was a slow market. So you lever up sometimes, instead of making $10, you're making $30 on a trade or something. I get that. But it's also exposure. People were exposed for who they were, who they are, the weaknesses in your game. If you're a human being trading this market, okay? I want you to really understand what I just said there. If you're a human being trading against that machine, which is undoubtedly it's rigged or to some degree. I shouldn't say rigged, it's manipulated. All markets are. All of them. The stock market's way more rigged. Way more rigged. However, the problem with the stock market is it's so vast and large compared to the size of the crypto. It's so much easier for somebody to come along with $6-8 billion. And I know that sounds like a lot of money, but in a Forex market, it would take 6 or 8 trillion to move it around like what happened Friday. But 6 or 8 billion can start an avalanche in crypto. So this person was like, I'm done. I'm not trading crypto anymore. I'll go on to other markets. I'll trade different markets. It's just too volatile, Alan. Yeah, it's too volatile. Just put that in the back of your head because I'm going to get back to that. Let's talk about manipulation. Let's talk about the likelihood that market was affected from a third-party position. I've done some homework. I was out of town and I met some incredible people like I started the show, and I'll get into some of that before the show's out. Incredible what's happening in the world. When you see that market in free fall mode, and yes, that was free fall. Yes, more people lost more money than I think any other single day in crypto history. That means two things. There was more money to have been lost, right? Like it was a bigger market. It was 4.3 or whatever it was, $1 trillion market. So it had more, it can fall 20% and the number's bigger than anything before. I hope that makes sense. It's manipulated, people. There's no other way to say this. And there's 3 reasons I'm going to go into how I know this. Number one, somebody made a trade 20 minutes before Trump's speech. Trump's speech had nothing. I shouldn't say it didn't have a positive effect on things. But somebody knew the speech was coming. Somebody knew it was going to happen. And somebody took that advantage to crash things that I'm trying not to wear a tinfoil hat here. I'm trying to explain to you that it's very likely that people who are against crypto, and let's go who that list may be, right? We already know China's not a big fan of crypto. It doesn't really, it wants its citizens to buy gold. It has more and more allowed their citizens to buy crypto. So that comes to mind. Europe despises crypto. The ECB talks about it every single day. They think it's a big scam. They think the whole thing's a scam. And they're big time players in rug pull situations. Oh, I don't know. FTX comes to mind, and his connections to Europe and the WEF were pretty clear. Choke point 2.0 was pretty clear. Very clear. Anybody that has a legal background would be, what happened there? How is that even? Wait a minute. You can't just blatantly say this technology is bad and all the other technologies are good. Like, show us why you think that. Anyway, that was 2 years ago. But when a market falls the way it did, when the US exchanges fell the way they didn't fall at the same rate. One fell faster than the other. One went lower than the other. How is it that Coinbase and Kraken got crushed, particularly Kraken, which is, by the way, the best exchange when it comes to fair play, in this man's humble opinion. But Binance didn't have the same issues. How did the Binance coin make money when all the other coins lost? Those are big questions, right? Those are things like, hey, there's evidence of something here. I don't know what it is. Speculation, call it whatever you'd like. But let's also remember, I don't know, 3-4 months ago, I don't know if you all remember how many of the top 10 coins that Binance sold. Like hundreds of millions of dollars worth of these coins were sold to 2 European institutions. Look it up. And I thought, why are these European institutions buying basically all the Ethereum that they could get from Binance? All they would sell them. I know it's conspiratorial. It's not evidential. I'm not saying that. I'm saying this. There were a lot of moving parts, and a lot of people had reasons for negative. So I say, listen, Orange Man, like him or hate him, is crushing it with crypto. That's going well. He's getting legislation, the genius, everything's going well. It sort of looks like we're going to more and more get crypto within our financial systems or institutions. All last week, some of the greatest financial institutions came forward and said it's an incredible hedge against the inflationary world in which we live with the dollar today. It's a good place to buy gold and a good place to buy Bitcoin. Well, they would use those Bitcoin and gold, but pretty much what I mean, which is all the top 10 coins. So all of that positive media was coming out. And then all this, they're ending a war. Like, the whole Israel and Hamas thing was just like, it was like the perfect time on a Friday to just pull a plug. This man's opinion, I'm not accusing anyone. I'm just saying Boy, that sure really looked good for all the people that didn't like the successes that that president had currently had on a national level. On a globalist view, they're like, we don't like what he's doing. We maybe would like to see a global problem. And let's really get at what he's known for, which is a crypto. Again, I'm speculating here. But then again, sometimes my speculations are pretty accurate. Like, gee, I don't know, when I started speculating on buying Bitcoin when it was $800, I guess it was kind of accurate on that one. What I'm saying is, who had the most gain? Who was in a position to make somebody look really bad and make a ton of money doing it? ECB came to mind. BIS came to mind. So now, what are they going to do? They're going to sit there and say, well, we crushed that market. Wow, look how easy that was. We can manipulate that thing when we want. We could turn the lever. We could do all that stuff. They had to sell a lot of stuff to get it to go that low. So now are they going to buy it when it gets down there? Probably. I think they've met their match with crypto. I want to get into now where I think it's going Monday, Tuesday. Again, I'm on the fence. I have no idea. One side, one guy on my shoulder says, somebody sent me Mikkel's video, and it was interesting. I liked his perspective. He thinks it's going to be a green days, Monday and Tuesday, I believe. That's a possibility. That's a huge possibility that could happen. Pull the lever, crush everything on Friday, let the smoke clear. We didn't do anything. I have no idea what you're talking about. Wasn't us. Look the other way. But if they continue to pull the lever on Monday and Tuesday, they could get caught. Okay, that kind of makes sense. All right. Makes sense that they wouldn't. The attrition or the natural rate will flow back into the market because everybody knows the future of all things is tokenization. I'm sorry. I don't care what you think. I don't care what your emotions say. That's what's coming. There's no way it doesn't happen like that. Right? So it's inevitable. So you ask yourself, who not only did they have the most gain politically, emotionally around the world, they needed something, they needed to say, now they needed, okay, you know how it was a year or two ago that, only drug dealers and, money launderers play in that arena. Well, you've been in this space. There's been nothing but fundamental great news for a year, 2 years since FTX. I mean, it's just fundamental after fundamental after fundamental. So we're sitting here going, wow, we're riding this wave and we're part of the future of mankind and we like where it's all going. But who does the corrections? Who does these corrections? Who stands to gain? All right. Enough with the tinfoil hat. I might bring it up again. Monday, Mikkel in particular thinks Monday is going to be a green day. If you're a hodler, I hope it's a green day for you. I really do. I'm a hodler and a trader, but I'm going to get into that later. Monday could be a very green day. Could be. And I'm going to say this, and I don't mean to offend anyone. I hope it's not. And hope is kind of a crazy word. I think for the strength of the following 2 to 3 months and the rest of the year for your financial success, it would be better, believe it or not, if Monday and Tuesday were down days. Now hear me out on this, okay? Are we anywhere near bottom? No, we're not that. Are we Is it likely that crypto's going away? No, it's not that. Where were we Thursday? Pretty close to all-time highs. We really were. So we were at the top and floundering around at the top of the market of Ethereum, and the top coins were all pretty close there. I know XRP was only whatever it was, 305 or something in there, and it was 45 cents off its all-time high. But Solana was right at its top, and Ethereum and all these coins were really close. Even XRP is up there. It's frothy. It's a little at the top. If you take a crash down 20, 30, 40%, and that's what that was, you can call that a crash. When you go down that low, when you go from $3 to $1.50, you're looking at a 50% loss in equity, only in equity, right? Like, and if you got sold out, I mean, that's one thing. But if you're a hodler, you're like, well, I lost a lot of equity in my house. It's half as valuable as what it was, Thursday. What happens when you get a frothy top and it's sitting there and we haven't had a parabolic top like we're all hoping for? We just haven't had that, like, boom, like, let's really take off. And everybody kept talking. It was coming for the end of the year. We're going to get that. And I still believe that's going to happen, by the way. We still need that. When you have a big correction like that, and then you have another downward correction, and it doesn't get as low Monday as it did Friday, and then Tuesday is red, but it doesn't get as low as it was Friday, you're building a new bottom. You understand? You couldn't make a lower low. You couldn't make another lower low. That red bottom area that everyone's like, all the doomsdayers that are like, oh my God, we're going to zero, right? Bitcoin's going to 20,000. Like, okay, like maybe, I don't know. What's the likelihood of that? I have no idea, but you get the point. So if you have a red day on Monday and a red day on Tuesday, you've built a bottom. You've built this structure in which everybody says, I feel safe going long now because that's as bad as it could get. Talking about institutions now. I'm not talking about necessarily Joe Sixpack. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is institutional money is going to be like, okay, I like that. That was healthy. It was a healthy correction. Manipulated as it was, clearly. There's no way everybody who owned crypto could sell their crypto as fast as that dropped. Impossible, people. I'm just telling you that's impossible because most of you are at work. I'm just saying, institutionally, you can't free fall like that. I'm just saying. All that being said, if this thing drops, and I'm just going to use XRP now. Let's say XRP goes to $1.99 Monday or Tuesday. Good opportunity for you to pick some up is another good thing. That's what people are going to see. People are now going to say, okay, it can't keep going any lower than this. I found a new bottom. I feel really good about buying at $1.99. That sort of volume comes in. That kind of volume is the volume that's maybe even out of the market right now, is going to be multitudes higher of the volume that would have been had we sat at $3.10. Because it's an opportunity. $1.99 is a better opportunity than $3. I hope I'm explaining this well. I know it's basics to a lot of us, but to some of us, it's a little tricky. It's a better buy at $1.99, and everybody knows that. So why wouldn't you buy it there? Well, because I think it's going to $1, Alan. It might. It just might. But those are buyers, right? If it goes down from where it is today and it gets down below $1.99 Every point that it gets below $1.99, those are buy opportunities. And you know that, and I know that. Fear and, oh my God, it's going to zero people are the public. Those are the people that sell at the bottom, right? And buy at the top, not institutional money. So, do I think Monday and Tuesday could be red? Yes. Do I think Monday and Tuesday could be green? Yes. Is this man lost his mind? No. Well, yes, but no. I believe either could happen. Which one do I think is healthier? I don't know. An institutional correction of 24 hours is not what I would call a healthy correction. Okay. That's like, what was that? That was hiccup correction, right? That was like somebody accidentally kicked the plug and, the patient was out for a while, and then we plugged him back in and now we're good. Everything's good. Like, no, there was a flaw, right? There was a flaw in the system. Go lay down, Rube. Go lay down. I got the crew here with me. The dogs are in and out, pushing on the door. It turned a little chilly here today. Yeah. I know most of you are probably, anyway. So I want to move on from that a little bit, since we're almost a half hour into the show. Holy smokes. You must talk for a living or something. Shut that guy. Would somebody turn that guy down, please? Here's where we're at. In this morning, I took a survey. Last night, yesterday afternoon, and I called some friends, Lifeline. Did a little Lifeline call, right? Any of you that remember that show. So I called a friend, or 5. And here's what I'm going to explain. I'm going to call, and I'm going to talk about this in 3 categories. One category is a hodler. Okay? The hodler was called. I kind of know how the hodler feels today. I kind of know what that felt like Friday, because I'm a hodler. 90% of what I do is hodling. I got tired of being a daily trader, staring at the numbers in the screen. It's not for me. I did it for over a decade, as many of you know, and I just got burnt out on it. I'm sorry. The hodler, how about this? Feels violated. Okay. How about that word? How about crushed? How about why? Why'd that happen? How come number only go up? Why not number only go up? Many of the 3 that I called, who are just saw hodlers, that's all they do, were very down. I'm just going to say down. The one guy was pissed off, but you vent, let it out, let it go, and then move on with your day. All right. Move on with the rest of your life. Some people, like in the chat, some people felt okay with it. They're like, hey, you know what? I know what I'm in for. I know crypto. I've been around long enough. I've seen it a million times, and I know what we're doing here. All right. So hodler got, whatever. I got other stuff going on this weekend. I don't really care. Okay. But a lot of hodlers were like, man, I lost a lot of equity. How is it I lost all that equity? I used to be worth $150,000, and now I'm only worth $100,000. Where'd the 50 grand go? You know what I mean? That feeling of, where'd my 50K go? I mean, that's a bummer. It's really, but you got to remember too, that we were at 50 cents a year ago, and now you're, even $3 is like, oh my God, I made 5X. So hodlers understand the pluses when it goes up as well. Now I want to talk about a trader or two. I talked to 2 different traders who actually physically watch a screen. One of them got out okay. I mean, they were licking their wounds. There's no question about that. The other one, I had stop losses in place, Alan, and it flew right through them. Something's wrong with the system, Alan. I had physical stop losses at this number, and this number, and they never got triggered. I heard this from all sorts of traders. That's not good. That's a failure in Coinbase or Kraken or whoever else. Those are automated trades. Those get triggered. I don't care. You don't have slippage from $2 to $1.50 when it hits bottom at $1.50. Well, then they sell you out. That's worse than stop hunting. Why even set a stop loss? Why would you do that? If it's not going to get you out at, $2.50, why would you want to get out $1.50? That's why you put a stop loss in. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, it's a pretty simple thing. It's like, well, I don't want it to go any lower than this, and I want this trade to abolish. Okay, I want to be out at that number. Many of you know what a stop loss is. They didn't get triggered. Blew right through those zones. You cannot build a trading platform. I don't believe in stop losses. I never really have, but I'm more of a scalper. But like a lot of people do, and stop hunting is like, well, there's a bunch of them at that number. We'll just push it down to that level and stop everybody out, collect all their money, and then we'll let it go back up again. That's stop hunting. And that also happens in a lot of these exchanges. But people's stop losses didn't get triggered until the very bottom. What? Why? I didn't pick $1.50 to stop loss. I picked $2.50 to stop loss. Why are you placing a trade for me at that number? Aren't we digital? Are we not technical here? It's not a human being. Why didn't that get triggered? That was the big question I had from a lot of live traders. And what I'm going to call live traders is people that, trade with a laptop, and they go to bed and they set stop losses, and they wake up and they didn't get triggered. They got triggered at a different number in which they placed. Very frustrating. I can't even imagine. Let me tell you this. If there are not class action or lawsuits in the next 6 months, we've become entirely too complacent in crypto. What happened on Friday is completely unacceptable. That is not a real financial trading platform, period. Okay? That's not what that was. I don't know what that was. That was, your Uncle Luigi in a garage running a bookie. Okay? He's a bookie out of the garage. That's what that mess was. Like, that would never happen in Forex, right? Ever. And I personally, I didn't lose any trades in that. I'm pissed. I'm like, you people have a lot of explaining to do, Mr. Armstrong. Yeah. Somebody better get a microphone in that man's face Monday morning and say, what up? And I want an answer. I don't want to hear, oh, we're looking into it. No, that's not going to fly, pal. That we're looking into it is not going to fly. All right. So when I hear people ask me this question a lot, Alan, what would you change in crypto? How would you fix it? How would you make it better? And it's real simple. We need more exchanges. You and I need to trade on more decentralized exchanges. because those didn't seem to have as many problems. And you and I need to do more peer-to-peer. That's how I would fix crypto going forward. Now I want to talk about something that I think is vital. I mean, it's important to everybody who's listening right now. Okay? Because I talked about group number 1, the hodler. You just lost equity. I mean, unless you had a trade, a margin trade, don't do that. Leverage trade, don't do that. If you're a hodler, you're a hodler. The trader got wrecked. Group number 1, the hodler, lost a lot of equity. That's what they lost. They used to be more wealthy. They were wealthier Thursday than they are today. Let's talk about group number 3. And I hope you all know where I'm going with this. Yes, go baby trader. I know, shameless plug, right? But the 3 people that I talked to who had to go baby, not only, personal friends of mine, they're people who went, well, one individual made, he's got quite a large account, but he made over, I think he told me $800 on Friday. I want you to understand, I'm going to get into this, but I want you to understand something. A gentleman who's been a hodler his whole life gets into this platform in which we started promoting about a month ago, doesn't know, he can't spell trader. He doesn't know anything about trading, and he's had it less than a month, and he made $800 on the worst single day, percentage-wise, or whatever it was. Most money lost in one day, he made money. 2 or 3 days there, he did. On the single worst day of a hodler's life, he made money. And the so-called professional know what they're doing, staring at a screen. I do this all day long. I got this all figured out. Their stop losses never got triggered or whatever it was, or they couldn't get out fast enough and the situation fell on them and they lost their tail. So group 1 lost a ton of equity. It's coming back now. So, we're hodlers. We get it. We're cool with that. Group number 2 is just frustrated with the system and the tools in which they've been given and the manipulation that created it all. And group number 3 happens to be a product that we've been playing around with for a while now. 6-8 months. I know people that have been trading and they really swear by it. This man, I think, is going to make over 10% this month. I know another guy's well over 7% already this month. Of the 3 I talked to, all of them made money on Friday. And you're saying, wow, it's a miracle drug. Wow, oh my God, Alan, I should sell the farm and all my grandkids and put it all into that. And that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is whether the market goes up, down, sideways, or whatever, there's a tool for you to make money while you sleep. Doesn't matter where the market goes. And it's faster than human. And it's better than human. It's better money management. It's better understanding what the thing's going to do. It's not buying the free fall all the way down. It's buying incrementally. And it's not putting your portfolio at risk. It's putting 1% in each trade or something. It will not trade over 10%. You have to make it go higher than that. You're never at risk any higher than, 3, 4, 5% ever. Just think about that. Think about, you wake up Saturday, or you want to do whatever, and everybody on the internet X is blown up and everybody's crying in their beer, and you're like, what's everybody upset about? They're like, well, you didn't hear what happened? I used to be worth 150K and I lost 50 grand in one day. You didn't technically, you lost that equity. Okay. Oh, really? I made $800. Now you're saying, oh, again, I'm going to get back to that. Oh yeah, this must be a miracle, Alan. This must be incredible. How do we do all this stuff? I need to get this done. Links are under the show. You can save money if you buy and go through my link and all that stuff. And that's great. This is not something, oh, well, Friday just tells me I have to own this thing. That's not the analysis that you should be doing right now. The analysis you should be doing is you should ask yourself, because last Thursday's show, I had a show about 3 different groups. Those are 3 different strategies about who are you? Are you this person, or that person? Go back and watch last Thursday night's show if you haven't. If you've seen it, probably might want to watch it again, because Friday changed everything. Friday changed everything for everybody. And here's why I'm going to say that. Is it possible that the top is in crypto and we're in a 2-year cycle of XRP floating somewhere around $2.25? Is that even remotely humanly possible? And those of you who have been in this game as long as I have, you know, yeah, that's maybe not likely, but it's definitely a possibility, Alan. Right? 30, 40% likelihood, I'm guessing. So, crashes are going to come again. You're going to lose equity again. So now your question in your mind has to be, do I want to make a steady 5? I'm going to call it 5. I know almost everybody's going to make 10% with their trader this month. But my point is, and let's remember, they're going to make almost 10% on their money. Probably a lot of them will make 10% on their money this month in the past 30 days. And let's also remember the first 2 weeks of that was just flat. The market was just flat. It's pretty big. So what you're trying to tell me, Alan, is in a flat market, it made money. And in a drastic drop down, it made money. Yeah. So what do you think it's going to do when the market goes up? It's probably going to make money. I'm just speculating. So let's go back to what strategically, why would I own this thing? You wouldn't sell your bag, quit being a hodler, and become, a go baby trader guy. That's not what this man is telling you this fine Sunday morning. What I'm telling you is this. You're not going to get 5x returns from Go Baby Trader. You're just not going to do that. That's not this animal. That is not this beast. This is the tortoise that is always making progress. It always makes progress. It doesn't take a losing trade. I know, sounds crazy. It's always progress. Your net worth is always on the increase. Now, if you've got a couple, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 that you want to put in that thing and lay around on a beach the rest of your life, you can do that. You don't have to worry about the Fridays. You don't have to do whatever. You can find a way to do that with that tool. I wouldn't, if that's all I owned in my life, I wouldn't do that. But I would say you might want to put some in there. If you're wealthier than that, even, I would say, well, what are you doing? You don't need XRP to go to $500 if you're wealthier than that. You have a tool that's going to produce $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month for you. I mean, unless you are one of those people that wants to buy a Ferrari every other week, and then, maybe you would. You'd want to put all your eggs in a lottery ticket of, I'm hoping XRP is going to go to the moon. So what I'm saying is 70% of this man's portfolio is going to be a hodler. What are you doing to make money on top of that? Where's your cash flow? Is it your job? Great. Maybe you got a good job. If you hate your job, you may want to find a way to make money even when the market crashes. This is why I'm bringing this up. So many people over the last 3 weeks since I really went live and talking about this trading platform, that so many people have told me, well, I don't trust it. It's too good to be true. I can't believe it. And, I'm leery of things that are too good to be true. I'm like, yeah, I know. But in the 4 years I've been on this channel, when have I ever endorsed a product? Well, I will say this. This is the first that I'm going to hang my hat on and say, you probably need to own this. If you're in category 2 or 3, you should go back and watch Thursday night show. If you're 25 and you've got 10,000 XRP and that's what you have to your name and it's your lottery ticket, you should hang on to that. You should hang on to that because you got time and you got a job and you're still making money and you're doing your thing. And I'm not recommending any human being. I don't care if you got $10 million in the bank to sell all of your XRP. This is not what this man's saying. But it could not have been a better sales pitch than last Friday for this product. However, if you put a big nest egg in this thing, and XRP goes to $30 in the next month or two, you're not going to be happy with 10 grand a month. You understand that? There's a dilemma here. When you might only make $800 when XRP goes from, $3 to $6. You might only make $800 that day. Oh, I want you to know that. So it's not the perfect thing. This is what I'm trying to say. Just understand that. It's the steady eddy. It's going to bring you these returns the rest of your life. And do you know how important that is to the rest of your life? Do you know how important something like a tool like that is for you? Because all of you are going to be wealthy. All of you, if you have any quantity at all of XRP or Bitcoin or Ethereum or Solana or SUI, if you have any quantity of HBAR, any of these or XLM, you're going to have a chunk of wealth in your palm of your hand one day. And you're going to go, holy smokes, what do I do now? I'm sitting here with $3 million, Al. Now what? $6 million. Holy smokes. I ride a tractor for a living. Now what, Al? Well, I don't know. 10% monthly on $1 million is $100K. I'm just saying. That's where you're at. We're not at the finish line yet. We're in all these bumps and troughs of the road. And it's the journey we're on. It's the sweet part of the journey here. But you have a place. You have a Shangri-La. This, in the time that I've been in crypto, 8 years now, the one thing I've always asked everybody is, they say, okay, well, when it gets to this number and I've made $3 million, I'm selling. And I always hit them with that one single question. I'm like, then what? And I'm like, well, no, what do you mean? And I'm like, what are you going to do with the 3 mil? First of all, thankfully, we've talked everybody off the ledge of selling all of it. Please don't sell all of your coins, no matter what coin you own. It's not a good idea. to be entirely out of the future of mankind. It's not a bright move, right? Even if it never reaches that number again, it was still a better play to have a percentage of those coins the rest of your life, right? Strategically and financially, it's just a better idea to have it. There's not too many people that have sold Bitcoin over the last decade that wish they hadn't. That's all I'm trying to say. And that's probably the same for XRP. I mean, people that were selling at 50 and 70 cents, oh, it hit $1, I'm out. You know, think about where they're at today. Okay. What are you going to do with it? If you have a place, that's what this entire show is about. So I hate to repeat myself so much, but it's so important for you to understand. What are you going to do? Are you buying that small little farm that you've always dreamed of? Fantastic. You got a place to put it. You know, your brother-in-law is in this great business and you always wanted to be in that business. And he's like, hey, look, I need 500 grand to buy half partner and let's do it. Or I need $1 million. We're half partners and man, let's go out and crush. Fantastic. Now you have a plan. Now you have a place to put it. But if your idea of what to do with your money is to simply sell your coins so that you can say, I got $3 million in the bank, you're on the wrong channel. This is not the channel for you. I've been asking you for far too long to come up with a far better plan than that. If your money is in the bank and your money isn't earning you the kind of returns that I'm talking about, what are you thinking? Are you living in the past maybe a little bit? Or are you possibly controlled by the thoughts of conservative-minded people who tell you a 60-40 portfolio is still relevant today in the world? Let's remember those people that were telling you that. That was before COVID. That was before they printed 40% of all the money, US dollars, that existed over again. And they're about to print a whole lot more. And if you're the person that says, oh yeah, but it's safer in the bank, then look what happened on Friday. I just told you. People that had this trading platform made money Friday. I don't even know what the numbers were. That was like ridiculous. $50 billion was lost that day. I think it was even more than that. And people in this group who've had that tool 3 weeks made money on the worst day in the crypto history, you know, dollar amount wise. Just wrap your head around that for a minute. And how much is enough? How much for you is enough? 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month, 30 grand a month? What's your number? 50 grand a month? If that's your number, your only denominator from that number, your only denominator now is how many 100,000 I got to put in the trading bot. It's not a bot, it's a trading platform. Okay, all right, Alan, let's see. I got this. I want to buy a Ferrari. Okay, there's the boat I want. I've got, I don't know, I want a timeshare over here. I got a condo in Vegas. Or, okay, I need 50K a month. Boom, boom, boom. Every 10K is, 150K you got to put over here just to be safe. You've got a barometer here now. You've got the tools. You've got the tools for this. You've got a place to put it. And it's not the only place. That's another thing, okay? We're going to have many places. That's one. MSTY is another place. I have other opportunities that I'm working on right now that I can't talk about because my, NDA, don't talk about that or that or that. Okay? They're coming. By the way, coming refers to, are you coming to my show in January? The link will be under here. It's not a link. It's a YouTube. I'm sorry, it's YouTube. It's an email address. And if you email that address, it will prompt you to, hey, do you want to go to the show or you want to go to the golf tournament and the show and you're good to go. Please be there. I'm begging you to be there if you resonate with anything that this channel does. There's stuff that's going to be presented there that won't be presented on live YouTube. This is a private building. I don't even think we're going to record it. Maybe parts of it, but I don't think we're going to record it. I don't know. We'll have to ask Ron. You're going to learn things in that building. I haven't even told many people about this. You're going to learn things in that building that aren't on the internet. I can't put on this channel. Okay? I won't put on this channel. Are they all financial opportunities? No. No, they're not. Are many of them? Yeah. And many of them are people that are doing things that have other YouTube channels that they can't talk about it either. But this is a very private building with incredible food, with an open bar. The following day is a picnic, a chill out at the park. But that day is a serious, not serious, 8 hours of being around people that want to talk about progress. Progress in a financial sense, progress in how do we make a better world? How do we make a better tomorrow? This is the player. See that guy? See that guy? See that guy over there? He's already done it. If the people that know me personally, and they knew me a year ago, and I'm talking about a tight-knit group. There's not a lot of you out there. There's 6 or 8 maybe of you, 10 maximum, that know kind of where I'm at. And only one person, actually 2 people now that I can think about it, my incredible wife and my son, well, maybe 4 people, that know where the next 6 months of where this, not just this channel, where mankind's going, will blow your mind. I'm just telling you, there's something going to be at that show that's going to blow your mind. You're not going to believe it. And everybody's, oh, well, you know, he's just selling tickets or whatever. I don't care if you come or not. I really don't. What I care about is whether or not you resonate with, are we gaining momentum? Are we going forward? Is our life getting better? Am I surrounded with people at my family and my job currently today? At my job, in my household? If the answer to that is no, then you need to find ways to surround yourself with people who are like this man on this screen, 24/7 optimistic. Literally 24/7. I've always been that way since I was a little boy. There's no changing me now. I surround myself with those people. Success comes to those kind of people. Success comes to those people that are going to be in that room. How do I know that? Because 90% of the people that are in that room are already successful. Everybody in this chat right here, to some degree, has already been successful because you started buying XRP a whole lot cheaper than it is even today after Friday. So you've been successful in a financial sense to some degree already, right? Now we have other tools. We have other people. We have precious metals people. We have technology people. We have people in the energy sector. We have people who are creating coins. We have people who are coding with AI's coding coins going forward. We have people who have invented a coin that will absolutely knock your socks off. It's the future coin of all coins in a lot of ways. That's the kind of people you're going to meet there. It's not going to be some CEO with some company who's just telling you, what their 2026 agenda and plan is. That's not it. Okay. That's a beautiful show. That's Brad's show. If you're looking for that content, you go to Vegas and you go to Brad's show. If you're looking to surround yourself intimately with people who are doing it today, and by the way, most of them are CEOs, most of them are entrepreneurs, most of them are looking for people like you to help them do this stuff because you already understand crypto, you already understand the tokenization of things, you already understand what a stable coin is, you already know what AI is, and you already know where the future is headed. You're not standing around like 50% of the other YouTube channels telling you that the world is falling, the sky's falling, and the world's going to the toilet bowl. Okay. That's not that meeting. If that's your presentation that you resonate with, stay home. Okay. Don't go to my show and tell me that the economy is going in the toilet next year. Okay. That's for other YouTube people. Okay. Whether or not it does or not, even if it does, it's sort of like Friday. How long did it stay down? Not long. Why? Because the overwhelming force, God, light, love, energy of this universe is the well-being of all things. Not the crashing or negativity of all things. That's where those freaks in the darkness are trying to tell you. And they're freaks. I know them. I've worked for them. I have met them. And no, they are not the future. And no, they are not light. And no, they do not walk with God. And no, they are not the well-being of the future of, again, I'm going to say it, all things. I'm talking every cell, every organ, all of it going forward thrives on well-being. I hope you get that. I hope you can live there more moments of each day. Okay. I didn't mean to start a sermon here today, but I get so many people that tell me, well, what about this channel, Alan? You should watch this episode. And I listen to this person telling me for 20 minutes that because all this money has been printed, that we're all going to be eating cat food in a bunker in slavery. And I'm sorry, man, that's not happening. Wrong. Okay. You're wrong. You've been wrong for 30 years and you're a doomsday boomer guy who doesn't get progress or the well-being of all man. And you live in scarcity. That's okay. We need you too. We do. You need the yin and the yang. But I ain't living there. That is not occupying this space between my ears. I can't. It's like nails on a chalkboard for me. And yeah, I got my head in the sand. Yeah, Alan, well, he doesn't get it. He doesn't get the math. Let me show Alan the math. Let me do a PowerPoint presentation to prove where he's wrong. Do you understand the power of the energy of this universe? I don't care about your chalkboard and your numbers. It's nothing. Aren't you at least coming to the conclusion of where the world is today of one thing, that science, 90% of science is just an illusion? It's limiting. The forward-thinking free thought of what can be is creation. Man, how did I get on that one? That's where I love to live, right there. I know a lot of people have had a bad weekend. I'm sorry about that. Please don't allow that to become the rest of your day or the rest of tomorrow. It's not fruitful. I'm sorry. It's not fruitful. And I talk about this a lot, but I'm going to repeat it one more time. People that want to teach you problems are the big channels on YouTube. People that want to tell you there's a problem and they want to constantly talk about the negativity. This party is the problem, and I got to constantly dwell on what they're wrong about, or this economy, they've printed too much money, or what. There's a few categories that are constantly telling you what's wrong. Okay. That's clicks. That's who they are. That's the world they live in. Okay. Doesn't have to be the world you live in. When you come across those channels, and they're very informative, right? They're informative. Remember this one thing. There's people who want to be right. And then there's people who want to make money. There's people who want to be miserable, and there's people who want to be happy or at peace. And the person that's always trying to be right is typically the negative person. They're always trying to be right about something. They're always trying, I got that right. I'm right about this. I'm correct about all this. And it's always a negative category. Not always, but 90% of the time, it's always some negative category. What's coming? What's terrible coming? It's not here yet. They're always trying to be right. And they're trying to baffle you with their intelligence about how bad something's going to be. Well, the rest of all the billionaires I've ever worked for, not all of them, but most of them, and all the people that I know that are entrepreneurs that I surround myself with and creative people are just too damn busy being successful to worry about that. That's something I want you to remember. We're just too busy to contemplate all that. Because we got too much success going on. Monetary, spiritually, whatever your deal is. Hopefully you have both of those. And remember, there's no such thing as scarcity. Period. The only scarcity is between your ears. And we all do it to ourselves. You're your worst critic. Listening to another person criticize you is, it's nobody wants to hear that. Okay. But you're your own worst critic. Be your own cheerleader. You'll be shocked at what you can achieve. Yeah. All right, guys. Been on here rolling along, and I'm getting preachy here. I don't know what's happening there. You live you, and I'll be me. We'll do it like that. But I love it. Find a way to have a great day. Let's be optimistic about Monday. It can go either way. I'm telling you, it's 50-50. But remember, if it's really red, and if it's really red for 2 or 3 days, it's a buying opportunity. Let's try and look at it like that. And also understand that that I love you all. The chat's blowing up. I wish I could read them all, but I'm not going to. I'm going to get on with my Sunday and enjoy the day with my lovely wife and Elizabeth and my dogs. So, hit like. That's cool. Thank you, Becky. If you hit like, many people get to see this show, and that's kind of helpful. So I never say that. I guess I should. Yeah, thanks, guys, for showing up today. I know it's been a brutal Friday and kind of a tough weekend, but, pet the dog, put your feet in the grass or whatever it takes, or, get a fishing rod and get it in the water, or do whatever makes you happy. And thank you all, Bobby, G, and Nancy, Frankie, Hoofty, Wayne, Hilltop Dale, Becky, Carmen. Hey, I love you guys. Doreen, love you guys. And Robert Simmons, sorry. Thanks, man. Thanks for being here. And I appreciate you all. With that, I am out of here this morning.